If you've been practicing in today's modern legal world for very long at all, you probably have some online reviews, and I hope you do. Online reviews are a wonderful way for potential clients to learn about you, and they really matter in clients making their hiring decisions. So perhaps you're listed on Yelp, especially if you practice locally in your community. Yelp's a great one to be listed on and have reviews. Maybe Avo, Google reviews. There are lots of options out there. But what happens if one of those reviews is not so good? If you look at your very favorite restaurant that you think can do no wrong, they probably have a bad review. Just about any business, once there's enough volume of reviews, is going to get a disgruntled customer or client. So what do you do? What do you do if you receive that negative review? This is an area that's very sticky in legal ethics. There are a lot of horror stories out there of lawyers who've responded poorly to negative online reviews and done themselves some serious harm when it comes to their licenses, public approvals, even suspensions, for having violated confidences and professionalism standards in responding to online reviews. So I'd like to talk about a couple of things you ought to do when you get an online review that's not so positive. First, when you first read it, do not do anything. Do not respond. Do not have any contact with the client. Have a cooling off period. That first negative review is going to hit you like a sucker punch. In all likelihood, it's going to come from someone that you're not expecting, that you think you did a good job for, and this may well be the first you're hearing about it. So do not take any action at first. Then consult someone you trust, probably another lawyer who can help you handle this. A negative review is not something to handle by yourself. We don't have the best judgment when we're feeling defensive. And as I said, there's a lot of pitfalls, a lot of ways that this can go wrong. Once you have assistance, consider the options. Maybe this is a client who really just wants to hear from you and would actually take down the review if you were able to resolve it within the relationship. One of the poster children for what not to do with negative online reviews was an attorney who contacted her client after the negative online review went up, and he just wanted his money back. And had she given his money back, he would have taken the online review down. So look at that as an option. Is this someone that you can solve this problem with? If not, is this even a client? Is the next question to ask. If it's not a client, some of the third-party review sites will actually take down a bad review. Avo is one that they want to have free dialogue and open reviews. They want people to be reviewing the lawyers, and so they're not real anxious to take down a negative review. But if you can say to Avo, this wasn't even my client, this isn't someone who should be allowed to review me on your site, they may take it down. And now let's say, no, you've exhausted the options, you're stuck with it. That review is not going anywhere. Well, make it go somewhere, which is down the list of important reviews on your site. So Avo is one that's usually listed chronologically. Some of the other sites are as well. If you can have some favorable reviews be more recent than that negative review, you can kind of bury the bad one. It gets down deeper and deeper in the feed of reviews, and that really reduces its significance. So go out and talk to clients who are happy with you. Ask them, would you please go online and review me? Now there are ways you can do this. You can send emails with very easy to use links to the online review site right to your page, and a way to make it very simple. You just click here, click there, and now you're reviewing me. You can also ask them in person. Make sure you're not doing anything unethical, like offering them incentives to do the online reviews. That would be paying for endorsements and testimonials, which is against the ethics rules across the country. And then lastly, carefully consider responding to the online review. If you decide to do this, do not write it yourself. Have your trusted friend who's helping you through this write it with you. This is where we see the most discipline problems with attorneys responding to the reviews. It's very easy to violate confidentiality when you write back on a public forum. The lawyer that I was telling you about, who was reproved, in the end it was not suspended, she was reproved for responding to a bad review, but her client would have taken it down for the money back. She violated confidentiality when she wrote back. And that's kind of easy to do. You want to argue with the person, right? They say you did a bad job. You want to say, well, actually, I did everything I could under your facts. It was your behavior in the first place that got you in trouble, and I couldn't save you from the consequences. You can't be saying those sorts of things in responding to the review. So there you need a very measured response. And keep in mind, it's not really being written for the person who gave you the bad review. If you're at the point of responding to it, that it's not being taken down voluntarily, you're not going to win that person back. They are not suddenly going to turn into a cheerleader for you. But you are writing it for everyone else who is ever going to look at that review and evaluate you. So you don't want to come across as someone with a temper or someone who gets angry. You want to come across professional and measured and make a good impression on the people who are going to read that in the future.